it's Lisa. I have started working on the second cover of the Softcover Jane Austen journal. What I have done, which is kind of what you all were waiting on me for, is I had this fabric chosen and I wanted it coffee dyed, and I'm so glad I did it. I love how it turned out. So while I was doing that, I did a whole stack of glassine bags and envelopes and all kinds of stuff. So I had myself a busy time one day coffee dyeing. Nonetheless, I've got the fabric pressed and we're ready to cut it out. What I have also done is I've cut this piece of fabric to go on the outside of the journal. This is the same fabric that I used for the spine of the hardcover journal. This is going to go on the outside, and this beautiful fabric is going to go on the inside. Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's always so hard. You make these pretty things and then you got to give them up, because if I kept all the journals, they wouldn't get used and loved, and that's what makes them a journal. Just sitting on my shelf doesn't do them any good. All right, so these sides are cut already, and I tend to cut the fabric about an inch wider than whatever I'm using as the cover substrate. In this case, pardon me, it's a white envelope. What was it? Probably like a 13 by something. Excuse me, I don't know what happened. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip. Thank you. So I cut this to the right size for the spine and the journal. So let's cut this. And this doesn't have to be exact. You just want about an inch around. I just like doing this, or cutting fabric as much as I can with my rotary cutter, just because it's fast and easy. I shouldn't have moved my ruler right away, but there you have it, I did. I'm feeling like I'm living on the edge today, evidently. What am I doing? Talking and thinking, aren't I? Better pay attention to what I'm doing here. And I'm sorry if my head is in camera. Let's see how I did. Ooh, that never happens to me. I usually have a string or something that's left behind. All right. So here's our fabric, and I want to glue this on the side that's white, and the envelope has some writing on it, so I want that where the darker material will go over and cover that, so no one will be the wiser. So what we will do, look at that. This goes so beautifully with the papers. I'm crazy about it. Between the two journals and how they're turning out, excuse me, I don't think I have a favorite. They're just, I love them both. Whoops. While I was waiting for the fabric to dry outside, I was working on a scrap idea book following the Corey Dahman videos, because I've been having a ball doing that. And I think I got a little crazy. I filled my glue bottle, and so I got glue at the ready, I guess. It's coming out in full force. Whoops. Okay. Now what you want to do is make sure you don't have any huge globs glopping up where it will be seen. I think we'll be okay with this. All right. It was weird. I had my I had placed an order for glue, and my order came today. Here's the crazy thing. Oh, I put them away. No, it's right side up, what's upside down? Anyway, the glue came today, and I don't know, is there extra mail security or something on certain types of items being mailed? Because that's the second time now I've gotten something, and it looks like the package has been opened and reboxed, like it's been packaged twice. It was just weird. And the bottles of glue, so when you get the Fabri-Tac glue, it's usually got that seal inside the cap. The seals were missing, and there was no glue gone. It didn't look like the tip had been used or anything. But then there was like a piece of plastic wrap between the tip and the bottle, the inside of the bottle of glue. So I don't know. That's the second time now that's happened within just, what, about 2 weeks, I'd say. It's crazy. Look at that. I love it. Love it. I love it. Okay. So now that we have the fabric on the inside of the cover, we'll need to fold the corners over and glue those. But before we do that, if you've not done this before, we need to, I'm going to try to make sure I have this in camera. We need to trim the corners here so that we can fold them over properly and not have a big old glob of fabric to fold over. It was so funny, after I had coffee dyed all my things. It's just so, I get such pleasure out of having new coffee dyed envelopes and stuff. I don't know. It's just, it makes me happy. Now I am going to sew around the cover too, but I smushed that down in there just to make sure it's good and smushed. I always get my hands terrible full of glue doing this, but if in the end I have a nice cover, so be it. I don't like messy hands. All in the name of good crafting. I hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. I'm filming this on Tuesday night, and we had just a wonderful weekend. Didn't get to see all the kids, but our youngest came home from school, and it was nice to hear from him how it's going and what he's enjoying, and about his professors and his classes. And I'm feeling better about it. He is so far loving it. He loves his teammates. He is loving his coaches. He's got one professor in particular that he just thinks is the bomb because the guy is really funny. So, yeah, he likes that. They have a priest there who's hysterical. So he's just feeling like there's fly has been in here today. Wouldn't you know, he's gonna make himself known while I'm doing a video. I can't get rid of him every time I go after him. It's like he knows. Okay, we'll come back in and touch up corners like this in a minute. Okay. yeah, it's just super cool to hear how happy he is. Okay, I lied. We're going to touch up the corner now. Oh, for heaven's sake, I might have to shut the camera off here in a minute and go after the fly again. Okay. You just want to make sure that it's all glued down really, really well so that you don't have trouble later on with nothing worse than going through all the hard work of making a beautiful journal only to have it come apart on you. Here, put these edges down. Perfect. So yeah, between how you sew in the signatures and take your time doing that and take your time assembling your cover well, and then you'll have an end product that you're happy with. Okay, that is pretty good. So one more little spot I want to touch. Here we go. There. That feels better. That feels much better. All right, what I need to do then with this outside cover piece is, I guess it doesn't matter because one way goes one goes the other, so I'm overanalyzing. But where the signature will be sewn in will be here. So the part that you'll see will be like this. So like this. That's how I want it. Okay. Big decisions. And then this will go over and it overlaps. I'm going to flip it so you can see just a little bit, because I'm going to sew around the edge like I said, and I actually want this to fray just a little bit. So I don't want it too messy grungy. I just want it to look a little old, make it look a little bit different than the other one. Okay, let's watch that fly. Okay. So I'm not gonna glue around the edges here. Because we're sewing, I'm just gonna come in about there. Okay, he's going down. I don't know where he went now. I'm sorry in advance if you witness a killing on my channel. Oh. Okay, so we want to make sure that it's glued down super good so we don't have it wiggly wobbly. And I think it'll be easier to lay that down on top of this. I do. So, perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna smush it so that glue gets in there and it holds well. You could even, this is really super thick fabric on the outside. Super thick fabric on the outside. So I could even, if I wanted to weight it down, I could lay it with a book on top. but the glue will dry pretty quickly, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay. Keep doing this. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to stop the camera and I'm going to sew. I'm not going to try to do that on camera, or if I move the sewing machine over, I first want to be sure it's working properly. Before I turned the video on and was working on my other project, I was having some difficulty. So I'll come back and show you where we're at next. Okay, my friends, I've got the camera on here and I'm going to try to sew with this angle and hopefully it will work well for us. I've never done this before, so this is a Junk Journal Gems first, I guess. So I'm going to start down in this back corner and go this way. I'm just trying to feel here. This is about 1/4 of an inch in, about where I want to make sure I'm watching that my foot is. So I'm thinking that if I go there, I'm doing pretty good. And I'm just, on this journal, I think I'm just gonna do a regular straight stitch. So, do a little back stitch, and we'll just go all the way around. Just test and see. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Excuse me. Hoping I have enough thread in my bobbin. I'm kind of gambling. Go one more. Yeah. Perfect. Well, it's going good now and my stitches are good. Something must have just, I don't know, been up with the bobbin in there. Reset it and we're rolling now. Too much. Perfect. Turn it, go a couple stitches, back stitch again, just so we're sure we've got it in there good. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we've got this all ready here. And what I'm just going to do, if you recall, I said I wanted this to actually unravel a little bit, but I don't want it to unravel a crazy amount. So I am going to come in about midway between the stitching and the edge of the fabric. I'm putting a line, well, I've worn off the label, but this is Dritz Fray check, and it prevents your fabric from Fray. It's really easy to put on. You just run a bead, just like you would glue, and let it dry. It dries clear, you can't see it. I would test it on fabric though, because once in a while it will show. I can't even tell you now what fabric it was that I've had this show up on before. But yeah, one time I had it show. It must have been an unusual fabric because it doesn't show on cotton, and I know for sure it doesn't show on this. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. Next, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna sew in our signature. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm first going to, I creased the envelope already. So I just wanna crease it a little bit so I can see where that is in the center of the book, and then I want the template to be in there as well. And I'm just coming up here to make sure it's all even Steven. Okay. Perfect. I've got to get another drink. I don't know if it's my allergies or, which I don't have bad allergies, but I have noticed ragweed around here is terrible. Okay, so here you can see it coming out the back side. This is a little trickier to do this way because you've got to see your holes through the fabric. And what I have found in the past with this fabric is it does have a little, that white lining underneath, which actually is a help for this. Here we go. I'm gonna have to find another project to use this fabric with. I just love it. This, when it's coffee dyed like this, oh, scrumptious. Okay. At least I'm not bumping you this time with my head. Usually when I have to stand up and do something, I'm usually bumping you. So far, so good. I still have glue on my fingers. That little area of the fabric. Oh, we're going through double layers here, so it was giving me a little flack. I might have hit some glue too. There we go. All right. So we'll take that off, move our cover aside for a minute. And again, I always start, I just find it easier to start with the middle signature. Check to make sure everything is all in the order that you want it to be, that your pages are all positioned vertically how you want. I leave most ephemera in unless there's something that is really troublesome or heavy. Sometimes if something is super heavy. I'm debating taking that out, but I'm going to try to do it with it in. Okay, then we're going to take our template again, and I always mark the top and the bottom, so I have this aligned just like it's going to be in the book, and so that as I move from signature to signature, they're all aligned the same way. Then we're close to having the second book done. I haven't even chosen, once I'm done with my Scrapbuster idea book, I haven't even chosen yet what I want my next project to be, which is weird. I have a million in my head that I want to do, but I haven't decided what I'll do next. I don't know if I'm going to do an autumn journal this year. I might be a little late for that. What do you think? Let me know, guys, if you think I'm too late for an autumn journal. So it'll go in my Etsy. I don't know that somebody will be still interested in one, or if they'll already have their autumn journal. Okay. Oh, by the way, thank you to those who shopped my Etsy over the holiday weekend and for your orders. I got the last of the orders packaged today and out in the mail, so they're all out, heading to your doorsteps. Oh, Lisa Michelle, I cannot, this is why I don't like showing how to sew signatures in when I'm on camera, because talking and doing this at the same time is hard. It's hard. Okay, there we go. It's all in there tight. And oh my gosh, you guys. Got dippy brain today. I don't know if that's, oh yeah, I should be standing up. I just do better that way. Get my wax thread up here. I cut it, I think, extra long. There we go. Okay, so we've got this little guy, the holes punched. We're going to take our template out, and then we're going to sew it into the book, and we can start to see what it's going to look like. Come on. Here we go. This is when you really start seeing it come together. So I have my wax thread. This thread, I tried showing in the last video. I don't remember if that part was actually in the video or not. I got it off of Amazon. This is the only identification I have on it, but it's just bookbinding wax thread. You can buy little bookbinding kits too, if that's something that you prefer. If you need the needle and the awl and the whole 9 yards. Well, come on. There we go. Can't get a good grip on it with the clips on there. I hope you can see this okay. Now I come in on the top. I usually have to peek. The thread does get hung up on other things, for me anyway. And then you want to hold this tight down here so you're not going through your thread, but just going through the hole, again, back through the spine of the book. Come on. And keep pulling this tight because you want your signatures in there really nice and tight. And then we're going to go back up through. Now I'm having a hard time finding the holes. There it is, I think. Okay, hold on. I got to pull this up closer to my face. Ooh, I went right on through. Right away. And then we'll come back out the middle. Pull it tight again and always checking back to make sure your stitches are tight. And then what I do is I always loop it through the top one just to help make it extra secure. And then come back up through one more time. Come on. And I don't know why I always struggle coming back up through the last time. Every time I do it. There we go. There we go. And then you're going to tie it off. So I'm going to do the rest of the signatures. I always do 2 knots here. I'm going to do the rest of the signatures, and then we'll see what she looks like. All right, so I've got to get all the little stickies off of her, all the little fuzzies and so forth, but I love how this is turning out. I've got all of the signatures secure in the book, so that is looking good. And you know what? This feels so good. And look, when you write in it, it's going to be totally flat. That's going to be super nice for whoever gets this journal. Kind of makes me want to keep it all the more. But when you come back, it's going to be done. I haven't thoroughly thought through how I'm going to do the cover of this lovely lady, but I'm thinking it's going to be along these lines with some embellishments around this. And I'll have to figure out some sort of a closure for her too. But look I am so crazy about how this fabric goes with the papers. I just love this. My goodness. So there you go. That's as far as we've gotten so far. When you come back, she will be complete. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.